Warm welcome to CrossYoga. My name is still Rie. If you see this somewhat real time, we are almost at Easter. And I just want to remind you that I have 3 videos I recorded last year about Easter. Thursday, Good Friday, and then Easter morning. Powerful videos. So look back 1 year ago and take a look at those if you like. And then I just want to pop in that we have just released our Learning CrossYoga book that you can buy at any Amazon online store. It's such a great thing. We've been working on it for years, so it's finally there. Take a look if you're interested in digging into maybe becoming a yoga instructor and training with us online or face-to-face. But take a seat if you haven't already, and let's dive in. As often, close your eyes and take a breath. Inhale deeply. Release and let go. Trying to clear your mind, noticing what you're focusing on and letting go of that. And if there is a prayer on your heart, something you want to mention, please do so as we're seated here quietly. And please stay seated and breathe calmly, or move slowly around on the mat seated as you listen in. So, tuning in on Easter, there were 2 men, friends of Jesus, who happened to do almost the same thing. They both betrayed Jesus. Maybe you know the story. Judas betrayed Jesus by letting the soldiers and the authorities at that time know where Jesus was without a lot of people around, so without a crowd, so they could arrest him and take him to trial. So that was Judas. And Peter, when Jesus was taken captive, followed along and just watched from a distance. And maybe caught by surprise, he was asked, so, hey, I've seen you around Jesus, you also know Jesus. And Peter says, no, I don't. And he does that actually a few times, saying, no, I don't know this Jesus. So both of them betrayed Jesus. But what a different outcome their lives had. Judas hanged himself, and Peter became one of the greatest leaders in the church. Just let that sit with you. And maybe you move to your right side and do a little bit of rotation, side stretching. Move to the opposite side. Of course, if you want to know the whole story and you're not that familiar with it, you'll find it in the 4 Gospels. Maybe the book of John would be one of the best chapters to read the whole Easter story in. But yeah, take a look. Move your shoulders around. And then find tabletop. Always welcome to get a little bit of movement into your wrist as well before you find tabletop. And then the simple cat-cow. So round your back. Cat, tuck your chin towards your chest. And going for your cow, arching the back, looking up. And let's follow with our breath. So you exhale as you do your cat. Inhale as you do your cow. Again, as I was preparing this, one of the many benefits of being a CrossYoga instructor is having the time to prepare these things. I mean, it's also sometimes a little bit hard, but it's also very, very rewarding. So I was thinking as I was preparing this, why did Judas actually betray Jesus? What was his motive? Maybe the first thing that comes to your mind is money. He got a lot of money for betraying Jesus. The Pharisees and so gave him some coins and stuff. So maybe that's it. Finding down dog. Lifting your hip up, pedaling your feet. Or maybe there is more to the story. I don't think Judas would just follow Jesus around for 3-4 years and then all of a sudden just decides, I want more money. Something else was there as well, I think. Maybe he felt like his dreams were broken when Jesus entered in on the donkey and did not claim to be the king that Judas wanted him to be. So maybe he was delusioned, like thought that he had a king to follow, but Jesus did not do that. So he became saddened and angry. Walk your feet to the front of the mat and fold forward. Honestly, we don't know why Jesus did what he did, but of course there was some kind of, I think, saddened or angry feeling. I think it's not just the money. All right, reach your arms up over your head, mountain pose, so high mountain. Reaching up and leaning back, opening up your chest. Big breath. Then gather your palms in front of your chest, finding chair pose, sitting low. From there, leaning forward, finding the floor again. Lifting up halfway, taking the right foot and lowering it at the back end of the mat, bending the front knee just in front of or on top of the ankle, looking to the front. Twisting, so your right hand stay down, aligned with the left foot, and lift up your left arm over the head. And then 2 things are going to happen. You're going to lower down your right knee on the floor, and you're going to take your left arm behind you. Maybe your gaze follow, so you kind of point down towards the back foot. Twisting, maybe deeper. Coming back, letting that back knee stay down, runner's stretch, or you move back, stretching the front leg. I like the toes pointing up, lower down over this somewhat stretched leg. Remember your blocks. If the floor is far away, just hold on to your blocks here. It's really helpful. And then again to the front. Take your hands down, step the front foot back. And there you find plank. Take a breath there, tuck your shoulders back. Maybe on your knees the first time. Lower down, elbows by your ribs. Engage your core. Lifting your chest. Moving back into downward facing dog. Spreading out your fingers. Taking your ears away from your bicep if they're kind of squeezed in. And then walk your feet to the top end of the mat again. Fold forward. Rising up. Exactly the same pose on the other side. Leaning back, opening up your chest. And maybe if you look at the screen, you can see there is a beautiful cross here behind me today. So maybe you picture yourself opening up to that, if it makes sense. And then straightening your shoulders, your spine, folding forward. Lifting up halfway, releasing left foot, lowering it down. Again, bending the front knee, blocks underneath your hands if you like. Twisting. Right hand up, navel is towards the inner thigh. And as before, two things happening. The knee, left knee comes down. This hand moves back, opening up your chest more, pointing almost down at the back foot. Moving the arms overhead, lowering it down, maybe on a block. Move back, run and stretch, fold over this front leg. Again, bending the front leg, stepping the front foot back, plank pose. Take a breath here. Lower down on toes or knees. Cobra or maybe up dog if you like. Downward facing dog. We will be repeating this sequence 2 more times. So walk or jump to the front end of the mat, fold forward. So a little bit faster this time. Now you know the postures. And again, let go of that doing it perfectly, doing it right. Just move, okay? Just move as long as it doesn't hurt your body. Opening up your chest. Mountain pose, hands together in front of you, fold forward, maybe swan dive with a little arch in your back. Fingers find the floor or the blocks. Have lift as you take the right leg, move it to the back end of the mat. And maybe lower down, inhale and exhale deeply. Twisting left hand up towards the sky. Inhale and exhale as you lower down, knee, let the hand move behind you. Reach the arms overhead. Inhaling and moving back, run and stretch, exhale. Stay here for 1 breath. Again to the front, plank to low plank. Inhale as you find plank. Exhale as you lower down. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. 1 breath in down dog. To the front. Maybe you inhale. Exhale, fold forward. High mountain, inhale. Opening up your chest and let go. Maybe a prayer here is not to turn out as Judas. Gathering your palms to reach forward. Left leg up and back. Twisting right hand up. And you can take a deep inhale. And on that exhale, lower down the knee, point back. Inhaling, taking the arm over the head. Run and stretch, exhale. And the Vinyasa, meaning plank, low plank, and all of that. Step back. Low plank, exhale. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. To the front again. Fold forward. And just stay in mountain pose for just a moment. Close your eyes, palms facing front. So Peter also betrayed Jesus. What was his motives? Maybe he was scared. He just saw Jesus got beaten up. All the crowd yelling, all the fuss around this. He that just a few hours before wanted to fight for Jesus, all of a sudden became this little boy scared to death and denied knowing Jesus. And maybe we know that. Being afraid, standing up for what we believe in. And maybe we sometimes feel like we betrayed Jesus as well. And if that is the case, that you know just in your heart that you betrayed Jesus, whatever it might be, big or small, maybe just throw out your arms to the side. You don't have to go for a big back bend. And just say, God, I'm sorry. Help me to stand up for you, even though I might be scared, even though I don't know what to say. And this attitude, the humble attitude, was exactly what was the difference between Peter and Judas. I'm sure Jesus would have given Judas exactly the same chance as Peter if he just came to Jesus and said, I'm sorry. With your eyes closed, fold forward. We're going to take the sequence slow with the eyes closed. Or at least you're welcome to do it with the eyes closed. Fold forward, let your fingers reach down the floor. Lifting up the right leg, sensing that you can stretch and point the toes behind you. Trust that the mat is there behind you. And just move your feet, your legs, whatever, to find that position. Or you can lower down the hip and let the back right knee stay off the mat. Twisting, navel towards the inner thigh, left arm up. Notice the shoulder blades, move them back. And then lower down, right knee, pointing the left hand behind you, going for a little bit of a deeper twist. Stay here for just one breath. Move the left arm overhead, reaching down on the floor. Run and stretch. Keep your eyes closed. Extend the front legs. Maybe the toes point up and fold forward. Walking your hands to the top end of the mat, finding the edge maybe of the mat, and step the front foot to the back, finding plank. Engage the core. On toes or knees, lower down. Try to sense where the mat is so you don't hurt yourself. Lifting up your chest, shooting the shoulders back, tucking the toes under, down dog. With eyes closed, adjust yourself, lowering down the heels as much as it makes sense.
If you have your eyes closed, I would not suggest that you jump, but you're welcome to do so. Walk your feet to the top end of the mat and again fold forward. Then rising up, high mountain, arms overhead, moving into our back bend, arms out to the side, open up your chest. Mountain pose, hand in front of you, small bend in your knees as you fold forward. Fingers down, left foot up. And again, trusting the mat will be there to the toes. Twisting. Noticing if you can sense that knee and ankle are above each other as you lift up your left arm. Your right arm. Knee down, left knee, right arm behind you, twisting, staying here for one breath. Tuck the shoulder, top shoulder back. Taking the arms overhead, reaching the floor or finding the floor. Move yourself back, the hip back, stretching. Right leg folding over this right leg. Vinyasa. So plank to low plank. Cobra up dog. And just let your knees stay down, find child's pose. Maybe your hands are at the front, maybe the palms are facing up as your forehead tries to reach down, find the mat. So the cool thing about Jesus and God is that even though Peter betrayed Jesus, Jesus does not play the guilt card or blame game or whatever it's called. He does not push in on the shame. He just asks Peter 3 times, "Do you love me? Do you care for me, Peter?" And Peter knows that he cares for Jesus. So in this way, his shame is removed. And Peter is called into great leadership, even though he was a man flawed. Coming into tabletop. And maybe just moving a little bit here. We're going to stay down on our knees for just a bit. You can just stay on your mat, but I'll move to the side so you see me better. So you can let your right knee stand down. You can fold your mat if you like or not. So right knee down and left foot out to the side. I love to align my knee and my heel this direction. Again, hip and knee aligned, and reach them your right arm over your head and lean towards your left side. For a nice stretch on your right side. And letting go. Right hand down. Again, align it with the knee. And then you can lift up your left knee and stay just a moment here. Now you can definitely just lower down this foot if that works for you, but you can also try to kick it back and see if your top arm there can reach the foot. Move your hip forward for a bit of a back bend actually, a little bit of balance. Kick your foot into your hand and breathe. Let go. Welcome to find tabletop. And maybe do a cat to find another way of moving your spine. Opposite side, so right leg out to the side, left knee aligned. I like taking my hands down here just for a little bit of extra help with the balance. Left arm up. I like my palms pointing down as I then reach to the right side. Avoid like going over this with the knee bended. Let the knee stay stretched. Let the hip be stacked over the knee. Using your core, moving your hands around like a windmill, finding the floor, lifting up, lift, right foot. And as before, stay here, lower down the foot, or see if you can get this foot and hand to meet. Kick the foot back, moving the hip to the front. And sit down. You can lean back if you like and do a little bit of seated windshield wiper. Coming down on your back, making sure the toes or the feet are somewhere close to your hip. Taking the elbows down by your ribs, pointing the kind of pointy part almost down towards the mat, and then lift up your hip. You're not going to go into classical bridge pose, but just stay here. Lifting through the arms and the heel. If you want to go into full wheel, you're welcome to do that, and you'll just come out of this one. Take your hands by your ears, point your fingers towards your toes, lifting up, and see if you can go a little bit of the way or all the way. If you're ready to come down again, do that. Lower down, hug in the knees. And then a bit of happy baby will be the next pose. So you bend your knees 90 degrees. Make sure that lower top of the spine is on the mat. Bending the knees, toes pointing up, like your hands reach the knee joint there, or your elbows. And you can either grab the foot or take the whole of the ankle if the foot is far away. So pulling down on the feet or the ankle without bending the knees more. With your elbows, try to let your knees move further apart. You know what I love, just being here under this huge cross like this, is just reminding myself that no matter what I look like, no matter what I do, if I'm a Judas or a Peter or whatever, I am still in God's grace. There's nothing too foolish for God not to handle. And let go. And maybe take your hands over your head this time. Let the palms reach up, so kind of your thumbs pointing in towards each other. Now, if that's not comfortable for your shoulders, just find the traditional resting pose instead with hands by your side. And just before we have a bit of quiet time, let your mind wander back to Peter having that conversation with Jesus actually by a fire. And maybe feel the relief that Peter is feeling as Jesus is actually speaking to him, knowing what he did and forgiving him completely, like calling him actually the rock of the church. Peter means the rock. And then take in that no matter your past, no matter what happened, maybe you feel like shame or guilt for being divorced or something else. Jesus forgives you, and you are called, you're chosen. You have a clean slate. God is not calling perfect people. He is calling willing people. So as we rest, receive Christ's love, His new start, and His call. Prepare yourself to finish the class. You can start moving toes and fingers. Shoulders, whatever makes sense. And if you're ready to come into a seat, welcome to do that. Or maybe you take a little bit more time staying down on your mats. I just want to say thank you for participating in this class today. And remember, if you want to see the Easter videos, you can probably see them right here. I'll have at least some of them up in the corners. Thank you so much. God's blessings on your path.